If you haven't seen the news by now, Bungie released this article talking about where they're going with armor and how they're going to change everything, and a lot of people freaked out thinking it's going to ruin the game and, oh no, I have to go back in the engagement mines to get all new stuff. And personally, I think the new system's a lot better. So why do I think that? Well, right off the bat here in the solution section, they talk about stats not being tied towards tiers at every 10 points. That's pretty good, because right now, I pull up my character, I'm at 89 resilience. Well, right now, that really is only as good as 8 resilience. I'm close to 9, but in the new system, it's going to hold a little more value in that second number. That's pretty good. I don't have to, play through a bunch of permutations of my armor to get that perfect even number. That's going forward with this. They also have a system of stat archetype and where the distribution goes. And right here they have the example. All right, 30 strength, 20 discipline. Right now, there's nothing really in the game that's like this. How do I mean? So, one of the least explained things in the game, I have never even seen any explicit thing. I don't think there's a tooltip. I don't even think Bungie officially said it. I have had gone through so many videos just to get an answer on what this is, and I still forget about it. So, if I'm somebody who plays a good amount is not remembered in this, anybody who's barely touched the game is going to know what I'm talking about. So, right now, the stats have been split into 2 groups. You have mobility, resilience, recovery in one group, and then discipline and intellect and strength in one group. So what does that mean? Basically, it really determines where your stats are going to be put after a spiky amount. So right here, recovery is my top bucket stack at high stat. In the bottom here, things kind of just get distributed a little evenly, and then, the rest filters out. So the problem with this current system is that me as a hunter, generally you want higher mobility for your class cooldown. Resilience is always good. Recovery is good. But the problem is that if you focus towards mobility, chances are you won't have a spiky stat anywhere else in this top bucket. And that's where things can get a bit problematic, because you're sort of trying to balance all these stats around. You also get stats like, stats like this, where it's just sort of an even split. And this really has no spike, and it's kind of just a filler role. And that's not really the most fun gear to have, because this sort of just pushes you over the line to even out those numbers. This is really the only reason why I have this piece of loot. As far as other things go, let's see if I can find a higher mobility one. Yeah, okay, this works. So right here, mobility at 22 and discipline at 26, this is sort of where the spikes are going, and this is how the distribution goes. Resilience at 15, and again, this is Masterwork, so it would be even lower. So my top bucket spike is here, and my bottom bucket spike is there. With the new system, what they're trying to show off is that, hey, this whole bucket stuff is going away, and you can have system of the points going in more even fashion and less chaff elsewhere. Because right now, I have a little bit of recovery and a little bit of intellect. And if I just eliminated those and put those numbers towards stuff I want, that's a win. Because there's a lot of stuff, and Hunter has it worse because they're trying to balance so many stats that work for so many builds where, it just doesn't work out. You end up coming up short in a way. So I think this is a lot better of a system. And as far as other stuff goes, they're sort of changing how discipline and strength and stuff works. This, I think, is very smart. Special ammo, this is sort of making Special Ammo Finder its own stat, which, again, this is work in progress, so nothing's confirmed. But, hey, to offload real estate on that head slot of mods is pretty good, because there's a lot of crowded space across the board. Strength, the higher you are, you could get another melee, and that's like a chance to gain a melee charge. So it's not something that's always happening. So I think it really adds a bit more depth to it, because as comfortable as the current system is now, there are a lot of problems. And I'm not even trying to say like, oh, we need to like endlessly grind. I'll put it this way: the reward structure of past eras was way worse than what we have now. I haven't really played a ton of seasonal content because, again, I have a good amount of stuff. But I've noticed that, hey, if the seasonal activity is dropping a ton of stuff, I'm getting a ton of engrams. I can focus things and up my chances. As long as Bungie still keeps at it with the rewards, I think this new system could work out. Again, right now, you still have these issues of stat values that mean nothing, weird stat buckets that barely anybody knows about. And, in a larger picture, this newer system's a little more new player friendly. People talk about how alienating the game is and they don't know what to go after. But when you have little tooltip things like, hey, Brawlers does this and that, and that's where your stats are going, that is way easier to digest than, buckets on, buckets and stat points that don't work out and needing artifice armor to fill in certain holes. So I think the new system is going to be a lot better.